Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon. Hope all you are doing good. So today we'll learn about the Redis and how to use Redis with a Spring Boot application. So before understand what is Redis and how it can be used in a different purposes, so let us see that here. So Redis is an open source in-memory data store, is nothing but a database over there. So it can be used as a database as well. It can be used as a cache. It can be used as a subscription model like a message broker as well. So it has a different purposes. So we need to see that which use cases fits for us to best to use it. But Redis is definitely a very much in use technology or a framework or a data store which is in use for most of the applications currently using in the real-time world now. So Redis supports also asynchronous operations, which is definitely a faster one. And some of the real-time examples like which I can say that like very high performance applications like which requires fast loading or a refresh can use Redis cache and everything. Leaderboard like you have any leaderboard like a football, cricket, any games leaderboards or any online gaming leaderboards which will refresh on a millisecond basis. All those things that can use Redis as well. And social networking sites like Instagram, others which has a lot of images, banners and other things, so that can use a Redis cache as well. And messaging apps as well, like a Twitter, other things as well. So it has a multi-purpose use, and it is evolved a lot over the years now, so that's why we can use it as a message broker as well, cache and database as well. So in this example we'll just see basic example like how it can be used as a database along with a Spring Boot application. So I'll not take much time to create a Spring Boot application. As you guys are already aware, you can just go ahead with a Spring IO, start IO, and you can just create your Spring Boot application with all the dependencies. The main dependencies which I am referring here is like web and then the Spring Data Redis, and I'll show you what all the dependencies currently I have imported here for now. So if you look at my code structure, my Gradle file, so I have a Spring 2.5 version and related dependency management, Java 11 compatibility. And now if you see Spring Fox I have, because I'm going to demonstrate using with a Spring UI, Swagger UI. So you can refer my Swagger UI videos, earlier videos as well in the comment section, which I'll be pasting the link. So now I'm using the Spring Starter Data Redis and Spring Redis clients Redis I'm using. So there are different types of clients in the Redis implementation. So currently I'm using a Redis. So don't get confused with a different implementation over there, because it has a different way of implementing the things. And also if you are using a Spring Boot Starter Data Redis, then it by default Spring Data Redis comes as a part of this. So so don't get confused with which type of jars or which type of implementation you are going to use it here, because there is a little difference when you use Spring Data Redis and Spring Starter Data Redis, because Spring Starter comes with by default those connections like they have the LUTIC code, something like connections implementation way, so which I'm not using, but I'm explicitly using a Redis connection for the Spring database with Redis database here. So these are the basic configuration, is very much minimal required. So what I'm trying to say is like, this is my application properties, which just says that given my application is running on which port and host name is localhost 6379. So I'm currently installed just a simple standalone application in my system, so which is running on databases, which is running on my 6379 port with a localhost as a URL there. So if you look at, let's see the main important classes which is required. One is we have to create a Redis configuration, of course. So we have annotated the class with a Redis configuration, and I'm just trying to create a Redis connection factory here. So Redis, because I'm using a standalone Redis database here, so which is running in my local application, so I'm just using a standalone configuration. I'm just passing it as a configuration value. So now to use this, currently you can use a Redis template where this template can be used to do operations there, but I'm just currently going to use just a CRUD operations with a repository as well. So I created a very basic Redis template which takes a generic arguments, and I'm set a transaction as a true. If you don't set a transaction as true, it gives a connection pooling error sometimes, because it's based on some of the versions mismanagement or some this is, but just it's better to remember that you can set template.set and set transaction management support as a true, so it will not face any issues. So that template will be added to the Redis factory, which is in turn you are creating a Redis factory out of the standalone. So this is a very basic simple connection. You are just annotating with a bin so that you can use it as auto-wide there and everywhere there. So this is just a basic configuration, and I have a simple controller. I'll just not go through into each and everything. You can refer my earlier videos to refer all those things. I have just one product class where I can do the CRUD operations, everything. So I have a product model, and one important thing is like you have to mention this as a Redis hash here, like as we mentioned document in the MongoDB usage. So in Redis databases you have to mention as a Redis hash here. So this is just has a 4 fields and getters address because I'm using a long book, so I'm just added here. So it's a very basic CRUD operation I'm trying to show here, and this is a basic repository what we have already, everything. So let us run this application. Already my application is running on the port 9001 if I'm not wrong, which is already with 9001, which I just added it here. So let us go to Swagger UI. I'll just try to refresh it here. So my Swagger UI is running. So I'll just go to do one transaction, or maybe let's do a get all, because I inserted some of them now. So I did just get all this here. So you can see some of the product which I inserted earlier are available here, some of the examples. So it's already fetching a data from the Redis database. Let me say one more here, like code name is like, probably I'll put as a 99, ID I will put it as a 4, TV, so product ID will be put it as a 99 again. So this is just sample data, so don't worry about these all things. You can create your own model and access those things. The main purpose is to understand how Redis works with a Spring Boot, with what all the connection is needed. So I just executed it. See, I returned the 201, so you can see already you have added. So let's see if that information is I'm able to fetch or not. I'll just see. Yeah, you can see that just now we added one product information, which is we are able to fetch it here now. So this is a very basic implementation of how you use a Redis. So I'm going to continue this series of implementation details or concepts on the Redis by using a subscription, by using a cache and other whatever things we have. I'll try to create a sample application as probably on the leaderboard. I'll keep you posted with all the information on in the comment section what I'm going to come up with the next series of those things. So you can refer to the just Redis official documentation here, whatever it is there in the Redis docs. So you can see all the information is here, and it is like asynchronous operations, replication. So you can see all the information it is there, which all the language support, what all the Redis also includes all the things like pubs, transactions, key values, automatic everything. So a lot of information is there. You can just go ahead and check it out on the documentation as well. So I just wanted to make sure that you have a basic understanding of how to use Redis, what is Redis is all about, what are the different types of Redis implementations or client implementations are there. So hope you enjoyed this video. I'll come up with future videos again in few days of time. Thank you. Thanks a lot.